Crow Country is an incredible homage to classic survival horror from the 32-bit era. Think Resident Evil and Silent Hill. But it's also one of the most charming games that I can think of in the genre, and a near-perfect fit for the Nintendo Switch as a result. It's suitably creepy and tense at times, but also accessible, humorous, and often heartfelt. It's got resource management elements and revels and the illogical puzzle design so prevalent in the genre, but it could easily serve as an entry point into classic survival horror for new or younger players. The highlight for me is the fantastic air of mystery about it. The protagonist, supposedly Special Agent Mara Forrest, clearly knows more than she's willing to reveal to others, and constantly slips up in conversation with others or when making observations about what she sees around her. She arrives at the shuttered Crow Country amusement park, 2 years after an accident led to its closure, only to find its rundown attraction still occupied by shambling, vaguely humanoid creatures, several evasive former staff members, and other interested parties, all converging on the same evening. Like any good horror game, Crow Country leaves the player feeling confused and vulnerable at first, but as Mara solves more puzzles, opens up new areas, interacts with survivors, and night falls, she slowly unravels an admittedly weird sci-fi-ish conspiracy, and discovers the motivations of the former staff and the owner she's desperate to find, Edward Crow. As Mara uncovers the truth, observant players can also piece together clues from several notes in Mara's conversations to figure out who she really is and why she's there, long before the story tells you outright. It's not the most surprising reveal, sure, but the narrative moves at a brisk pace, and it never feels secondary to the gameplay. How you traverse the small but dense environments, solve puzzles, and survive will feel comfortingly familiar to survival horror fans. You'll explore an expanding and evolving map room by room. You're locked in place to shoot using a laser pointer. You can run past shambling foes, hoover up ammunition, grenades, medkits, and antidotes, solve puzzles and complete minigames to find key items or secrets, like powerful weapons and upgrades for them, and soak in the wonderfully detailed, retro-styled environments, all complemented by creepy ambience and music. My only real criticism of Crow Country is that the gameplay offers few surprises to veterans of the genre. Crow Country's 5-ish hour playtime works in its favour here, as the combat is limited but never frustrating, the puzzles and minigames always entertaining, and secrets are abundant. If you dislike the sluggish combat, you can avoid everything but the final boss if you're nimble enough. In fact, Crow Country has a curious twist on the traditional survival horror formula, as despite new guests, traps, and even booby-trapped items appearing as the night progresses, the horror elements diminish over time. There are some dark and tragic moments, but it was hard not to get behind Mara's dogged determination, fearlessness, and fondness for awkward jokes. I soon found myself less interested in hoarding resources and purging every room, and instead fixated on unraveling the true nature of the park and Mara's connection to it. For those who value an entertaining story and good narrative pacing above survival mechanics, Crow Country also offers a ton of smart assists to avoid aimless backtracking. The map highlights unsolved puzzle locations or points of interest, and a fortune-teller machine can offer hints. Shortcuts and save rooms, complete with soothing music of course, are smartly placed, and there's no inventory limit or item boxes, just a maximum amount of ammunition and healing items you can carry at any given time. If you run low on supplies, returning to Mara's car, rummaging through a trash can, or kicking a vending machine will likely spit out a box of handgun bullets or a small med kit. Even the ranking system rewards playing it safe, as it doesn't consider total playtime or the number of saves. There's also an exploration mode that disables enemies completely, or a murder of crows mode for those who want a tougher challenge with most assists disabled or limited. Better still, irrespective of whether you're playing it docked or in handheld mode, Crow Country looks great, especially on an OLED display. It sounds great, and it runs smoothly on the Nintendo Switch. The only notable difference from the next-gen console versions is that larger rooms can take a few seconds longer to load. Now, I started by calling it a homage, but perhaps the most novel thing about Crow Country is that it's a rare example of a cozy survival horror game. The sort of game that's perfect for playing cozied up under a blanket, on the couch or in bed, despite the horror-focused nature of the genre.
If you've got this far, please consider giving the video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel, as it helps us grow.